Sometimes we forget why we're here. It's easy to fall off track. These help us remember.
Unauthorized recording.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change these battles.
Growing up, I had a dream, something no one else could see. Tell me what it means when your faith is falling beneath your knees and you can't breathe. Everything you see reminds you of what you're not or something you won't be. You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business. Not because they wanna do it, just because they heard it pays. And who the fuck wants to be poor knowing that's how we've been raised? Society is getting heavy, I can feel the weight. The pressure of success is like 100 million pounds of shame. And that's the reason I'm staying up late, trying to find a way to escape the stereotypes. This day and age is making me feel like the only way I'll be happy is getting signed to a label and making money through rapping. I wanna share my emotion because this world is attacking the very principle of life that lets the people be happy. If you don't have a reason to breathe, why even live? These battle scars are impressions of everything that it is.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change these battles. Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change these battles.
If I had a voice that reached 100 million people, I'd tell them there's a reason that we're all created equal. Cause some decide to be great and some decide a sequel to an average person's life is simply what they want to be. So you make your decision, all I know is what I'm given won't define the life I lead or the way I dwell in existence. I've seen a greater image on the walls of where I'm living, and the words twisted and scripted remind me of something written. Faith is a gift that is given down to the people. If one believes it, one receives it. It's given if it is needed. Don't ever think you're trapped in a life that you never wanted. Your options are infinite, that's some mathematical logic. I'm not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers and these battle scars on my church. Not saying I'm a prophet, I'm speaking for what it's worth. These lyrics define my prayers, these battle scars on my church.
Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change these battles. Scars don't look like they're faded, don't look like they're ever gone away. They ain't never gonna change these battles.
Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? Oh, I better turn off that heater. I don't want there to be any background noise. And I hadn't streamed the past couple days, been super busy, but I will be streaming tonight. And also tomorrow is the LNC update. But I'm glad to get back to history because this one is long. Hold on.
That's what she said.
And we barely touched it.
That's what she said.
Oh boy, I didn't reboot my comments. People comment. Somebody just say something so I know if my comments are working. And if I don't acknowledge, yes. It will never not bug me. It's not an AC, this is a heater. It's right here. This is just, all it does is heat. It's right here. This isn't an air conditioner. Air conditioner is for cold. This is a heater. And hello everyone. Okay, well thank you for commenting. But let's get the grifting out of the way and then we'll get right into history. And there's going to be a bunch of history shows crammed into the rest of August because I forgot how much was left in this issue. But I wanted to show you some new merch that I have. Well, it's actually not new merch, but I didn't have it yet. I didn't get one, and I just love this shirt. It's at tinyurl.com/Pink Flame merch. But I got this state crime one with like the bombity bomb. So no bombs. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I didn't think I'd like this color, but I'll show it to y'all a little bit here. Ooh la la. So again, tinyurl.com/pinkflamemerch. It super helps me out if you like some of the merch. I'm going to be adding a few more things. I had just added another one that I'll be showing you guys probably tomorrow, the touch grass one. So you can go check that out. And also along the bottom is all the ways you can help me. Of course, super chats always matter. And I still have to figure out how to enable Twitch bits into my whole program here. I haven't done that yet. I just found out how to download my subscriber list. And by the way, thank you so much. I've got a few Twitch subscribers, and that super helps. So if you have a Twitch account and you have an Amazon Prime account, see, I didn't know this, so this is why I'm going to keep telling you. With your Amazon Prime account, you get to support for free at no cost to you. It's part of your Prime thingy, a Twitch streamer, where, you know, they get kicked a couple bucks a month. So if you do have Prime and you're not supporting anyone else, then yes, please do a lot to my channel over there, Pink Flame of Liberty, twitch.tv/Pink Flame of Liberty, your Prime, your free Prime support. And I would really appreciate it. And again, it costs you nothing. And there's the, now it seems somewhat boring, the more traditional Patreon, which is patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. I could truly use the support. And yeah, it's been a while since I've gotten a new patron, so you could be that one. You could help me out. Actually, it hasn't. Samuel Bowler subscribed recently, so I don't want to forget about that. But, you know, in this, I know the Biden economy is booming, but, you know, in this booming economy, you know, sometimes that's not highest on people's priority list. And I totally get it. So we're going to go over now to start talking about LP history. Tomorrow is the LNC update. But when I do this, remember when I switch screens here that I have to take comments off because otherwise it just takes up too much of the screen. So let me see if I can do this from my little... Oh, I wanted to test something on my Stream Deck first. I think I fixed that one broken sound effect.
Unauthorized recording.
This is an unauthorized recording. I got it fixed. Yay. And my other one?
Objection, speculative.
Perfect. I still have to extract out Pat Ford's "You had me at FBI." I don't have that yet. But I've been trying to work things from my Stream Deck. Let me see, does this work? Yeah, look at all these little controls I have. Okay, so where's next scene? All right, let's make a scene. Let's go to the next scene, which will pull up the LP news. Yay, look how good now I need to get recentered. The last thing we had talked about when we had done this, it's probably like 3 weeks now, was this page. But we're going to go back to the first page, actually, because we've been hopping around. And look at that slick logo that we had there in 1974. And yes, I am having a mimosa. Alrighty. Yeah, no, it's Tyler says it's 100 degrees in California right now. It's not cold in Colorado, but remember, I'm in my basement. And there's a reason people used to store, like, they called it a root cellar and crap like that. They'd put their vegetables down here because it's always cool in the basement. Something that really freaked me out about Colorado when I moved here is that the ground never gets warm. Like in Florida, you could lay on the ground, like, and take a nap, and it was nice. Even in the middle of summer, the ground is cold here. The ground never, ever gets warm. So like when you're camping, like in a tent, you've got to get like these insulated things that you put down on the ground before you can put your sleeping bag down. Totally not used to that because it's not that way in Florida. But yeah. And cheers to Mike on finally being free. I'm not sure who Mike is. But anyway, so I'm down in my basement. And that's another thing foreign to Florida. But it's always cold down here. We all float down here. So that's why I'm always with the heater. And I've actually got like a sweater across my knees because it's cold. I'm such an old lady. All right. What we already did, the Dallas convention attended by 300. So we're going to move on to the Hospers article and the Tuccelli article. So remember, this is 1974. Take a look at that picture there. That is the 1974 convention. Doesn't look much different than conventions today. I mean, I know it was smaller, but check that out. But what I found interesting, look, like there's so many people that are like wearing vests and stuff, the style. Oh, Mike Seebeck, gotcha. Yeah, he had let me know earlier today. All right, so the Hospers runs for California governor. A lot of people don't know that, but after his presidential run, John Hospers did do other campaigns, and one was the 1974 run for California governor. So it says, it's tiny print, I know. God, I need a magnifying glass. John Hospers, 1972 LP candidate for president, is on the campaign trail once more. This time as the California Libertarian Party's candidate for governor. Actually, yeah, 300 people attended the Dallas convention. Isn't that funny? Because between 300 and 400 attended Portland in 2006, where they gutted the platform. That's just a bit of trivia. Yes, I am still ass mad about Portland, even though I wasn't even in the party at that time. Okay. Actually, John is running two campaigns, said Jack Willis, Hosper's campaign manager. One is an educational campaign and the other is a ballot campaign. Let's see what that means, because I have no idea what they're talking about. Willis explained that the election strategy developed for Hospers centers upon an attempt to expose libertarianism to businessmen, professional, and special interest groups. We are essentially after the opinion makers, said Willis, people who are looked up to by their peer groups. If we can plant the seed of libertarianism in the midst of these leaders, we will have gone a long way toward achieving the goal of the education campaign. Hosper spoke recently before the Los Angeles County Medical Association and has a meeting scheduled for August 29th with a dozen prominent San Francisco businessmen. Mass mailings. The Hospers campaign seeks to raise enough money from the contacts made in the early part of the race to finance one or two mass mailings just prior to the November election. These mailings will be sent primarily to conservatives who Hosper's campaign staff feel have been disenfranchised by the nominations of Jerry Brown and Houston Flournoy by the Democrats and Republicans. Both men are anti-philosophical Mr. Clean candidates. I've never heard of that expression. Who believe in big government and restoring Americans' faith in politicians. Meanwhile, we want to demolish Americans' faith in politicians. While the California LP is unquestionably one of the most active and well-organized of the state parties, and they remain so, they face the most onerous election laws in the country. That's not true anymore. I think Alabama does now, maybe Virginia. It's pretty bad, though Alabama just did get ballot access. That's where the ballot campaign comes in, Willis continued. If we can get 120,000 write-in votes for Hospers, woof, that's a lot for write-ins, we'll have achieved a permanent spot on the California ballot. The odds against getting such a large number of write-in votes might appear overwhelming, but the California LP thinks it's at least worth the effort. Then it says, enthusiastic reception. Ed Clark, LP state chairman, explained that the enthusiastic reception that Hospers was accorded at the July National Young Americans for Freedom Conference in San Francisco convinced many people in the party that an intelligently run campaign might just be able to get the necessary votes. Besides, said Clark, our alternative is to collect 700,000 signatures by assembly district. Wow. It says Citizens for Hospers, the official campaign organizer, has hired a, continued on page 6. I hate that continued crap. Just put the article where, don't do this. Why do we do this? Maybe it's just the age, the digital age, that it bothers me that in print you always used to have to do this to get a lot of headlines on the front. But anyway, professional fundraiser who believes the party's target of $100,000 is well within reach. The success of the ballot campaign will depend mainly on the ability to raise the necessary funds for the last-minute mailings. It is hoped that over 1 million pieces of literature will be mailed. Hospers has recently been contacted by a number of prominent conservatives in Southern California, some of whom Willis hopes will provide the campaign with endorsements. 2 or 3 well-known conservative endorsements could make all the difference, he said. And then there's the address, which isn't particularly relevant anymore. All right. Well, I wonder, I guess we'll find out in future episodes how close they got to that write-in. I'm not trying to be like, it's so funny to say pessimistic because we're talking about something that happened 50 years ago. Can you really be pessimistic about something that's long past? But I don't mean to be pessimistic, but what would you guess they got for write-ins? Write-ins are tough. I'd be surprised if they got 10,000 write-ins, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm just being a Debbie Downer. But, we are talking about something a long time ago, so it's not like I'm going to discourage anybody. I would never say that, like if this was going on right now. I don't like being discouraging to people. Speaking of signatures, I am running for town council, as a lot of you know, and there's a minimal signature requirement. I got to get 25 valid signatures. Like, it's nothing, but it's from your neighbors, basically, because it has to be your district. I've got like 21 right now. I'm going to turn in 35 just to be safe. On Saturday, I'm going to go knock on a bunch of doors and get the rest of them. Those were from our immediate neighbors that Wayne, who's such a social butterfly, knew. But yep, I am working on my campaign. Hopefully this weekend, maybe not, but hopefully I'll have the campaign website up. So I will be grifting for donations. You can't put yard signs out here until 45 days prior to the election, until late September. And I want to be able to, ask people when I'm, not when I'm getting signatures at the door, but when I'm just doing my, door-to-door campaigning, to be able to give them yard signs to put out. So that's going to be one of my immediate goals. Yard signs and mailers. I mean, that's what it takes in a town council race, along with, just the sheer work of going out and door knocking. Crap, I had the number in my head, and now I can't remember what it was of how many addresses there are. But I'm thinking it's just under 10,000. It might be a little bit more. I've got the list that I got from the county. Alrighty, so the next one we're covering is Tuchelli, and Tuchelli's aim, 50,000 votes. Remember, Jerome Tuchelli wrote that book, It Always Starts with Ayn Rand, I think that's the name of it. It says, the most professional political campaign in the history of the Libertarian Party is underway in New York State this summer, using the gubernatorial candidacy of 36-year-old author Jerry Tuchelli as the vehicle. The Free Libertarian Party of New York has as its objective nothing short of gaining permanent ballot access for the party. Wow. Nathan, I would have been very interested in seeing that podcast. I'm sure it'll be on their channel. To do so will require 50,000 votes this November. Boy, ballot access in New York has always been an issue. To complement, I think they meant compliment with an E, not an I. They weren't trying to flatter it. Hey, baby, you're pretty today. They meant, never mind. I'm being a librarian. Okay. It says, to complement the political expertise garnered from Fran Youngstein's mayoral campaign last year, the FLP has obtained the services of professional campaign manager Laura Wertheimer. Ms. Wertheimer has drawn upon the talents of the FLP to form a large and effective campaign staff, which she calls the most creative group of campaign workers, amateur or professional, it has ever been my pleasure to work with. The campaign strategy calls for Tuchelli to appeal directly to those voters who are simply tired of paying high taxes year in and year out, regardless of the government programs involved. as an inducement to get those people to vote for Tuccelli, a candidate who admittedly has little chance of winning. The staff has adopted the campaign slogan of "Send them a message they can't ignore, 50,000 votes." Little subtitle, "Confident Campaigner." Continued on page 4. Oh, God. Okay. The people born today will probably never even be familiar with these continued on whatever pages. This is a dinosaur. So let's go to page 4. And it's New York site of FLP Blitz is where it is continued. Tuccelli appears relaxed and confident on the campaign trail. He received almost universally good media coverage on a recent 4-day tour of upstate New York that took in 14 cities. Accompanying him on the trip was Roger Lee McBride, the well-known ex-Republican. As we know, he would end up being the 1976 presidential campaign. Need some more mimosa. And, don't hesitate to send some super chats my way for my mimosa fund. It's a worthy cause. It certainly is a delicious one. And for those who came late, showing off my shirt again on my store. State crime, no bombs. All right. According to McBride, the media was very receptive to Jerry. They may have been skeptical at first, but as the interviews progressed, it was evident that he was getting his point across. He's a very articulate individual, and I wouldn't at all be surprised if his candidacy really caught fire before long. At a kickoff press conference, Tuccelli said, "The time has come to tell the standard politicians to stop playing games with our paychecks and our lives. The only way to end the irresponsibility that has characterized the bureaucratic machine in Albany for decades is to send the politicians a message they can't ignore. A vote for me is a protest vote, a protest against high taxes, high prices, and high political gamemanship." Now, this was in 74. Can you imagine? Oh, my God. And how much less free have we gotten? In a lot of ways. Now, in some ways, we are more free. But in other ways, we are significantly less free. Petition signatures. It says, while Tuccelli concerned himself with the campaign, hundreds of libertarians, and hello, JJ, were swarming the streets of New York to gather the necessary 20,000 petition signatures to place his name on the ballot. Petition coordinator Howie Rich indicated that the drive was coming along well and that the objective was to get 40,000 signatures in order to discourage a rumored challenge by the Conservative Party. "We're very confident about the petition drive," said Rich, "if for no other reason than the fact that everyone realizes this will be the last time we will have to petition if we can get those 50,000 votes for Jerry." The first media blitz of the campaign is scheduled for September 16th through 23rd, with over $15,000 of radio and television advertising being used to introduce Tuccelli to the citizens of New York. In addition, a Tuccelli for Governor booth will be manned by the FLP at the upcoming state fair in Syracuse. Tuccelli, who is the author of Radical Libertarianism, that's a book I have. I haven't read it yet. And we've got a lot of Tuccelli campaign material on Elpedia, by the way. And if I wasn't so busy streaming on other stuff, remember, this was mostly just going to be a history channel. I need to go back to just doing a lot more of that. Oh, and by the way, I've got another channel I got 2 other channels, actually. The Cult of RONR, which is, everyone knows about that. Well, you should know about it. It's where we do the parliamentary procedure stuff. But I've also got a personal channel. It's only got 20 subscribers because I do makeup and shit on there. But I'm going to be doing a fruit review. I know that sounds so weird, but there's this family farm. It's a big family farm, but it's, local. It's not a big conglomerate. It's family owned. Out in California that has this heirloom fruit. So you can't really get it anywhere. It's very unusual fruit, rare species. And we just got in today, I think they were called emerald plums, called Emerald Beauty Plums. Because I read their little blurb about it and oh my God, are they delicious. Now it's not cheap to order from this place because again, shipping fruit just isn't cheap. And this is specialty fruit, but I like supporting this family farm and trying just like very interesting fruit. If you ever, anyone else here ever had an emerald plum? They are green, but you can feel and tell they're ripe. They're not hard. Like, they're delicious. Just the right amount of sweetness. It's really, really good. And remember, in October, of course, like I do every year, I'll be ordering my Arkansas black apples, which I'm obsessed with. But these emerald plums are delicious. So I'll be doing that on my other channel. The other channel is called it's funny because that was before that whole meme. The other channel is called Actually It's Karen Ann, and you can check it out there. Again, it's where I put everything that really doesn't fit on this channel, even though I did do an Apple review on this channel. I should have put my Mountain Dew review on the other one. So I like, it's makeup, food reviews, whatever. But anyway, go subscribe. Go subscribe. So I have more than 20 subscribers. But it's not politics at all. It's everything else I'm interested in. And I'm starting another channel soon. I'm really, really trying not to have to work a day job. Please help me. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Can't do the cubicle thing anymore. Anyway, I've told you all before, the other channel I'm going to be starting soon is on my other passion. History, obviously, is a passion of mine. Libertarian Party is obviously, quite obviously, is a passion of mine. But I'm really into words and language. So it's going to be like a language. It's going to be a language show. Dealing, with raising vocabulary, unusual words. It probably will be a bit spicy, kind of like the cult of RONR. But it might get into some history as well. So I'm going to mix my love of history with my love of language, and we'll see where it goes. We will see where it goes. If I ever didn't have to work, like if I won the lotto or something, like that's never going to happen like that, I probably would go back and get my history degree because I'm just so fanatical about history. But that's going to be a show I'm starting actually relatively soon. It's probably only going to have one show a week because this is my prime thing. I'm never going to stop doing this show as regularly, but I really am trying hard to earn my keep outside the cubicle. All right, where was I at now? There's the ads. Confident. Okay, the first media blitz of the campaign is scheduled for September 16th through 23rd with over $15,000 of radio and television advertising being used to introduce Tuchelli to the citizens of New York. In addition, a Tuchelli for Governor booth will be manned by the FLP at the upcoming state fair in Syracuse. Oh no, I already did that. Okay, we were talking about the author of Radical Libertarianism. Okay. And he has written for the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, etc. Thinks his campaign is anything but an act of futility. The response I get from people from all walks of life has been remarkably positive. People are upset, according to Tuchelli, not only at the blatant corruption that permeates both major parties, but at politicians' insistence that the way to solve people's problems is to spend the people's money. Bureaucracy is rampant, and it's time to say, stop. Stop. Okay, I don't think they're going to stop. No matter how, well, hopefully they will. 50,000 votes on the Free Libertarian Party line will serve a vital function. It will tell the politicians that the taxpayers have had enough. That's why I'm running. And then there's the address for contributions. There's one other column in here that we're going to cover this show, and that's it. I'm trying not to do million-hour-long shows on history. Let me see what page this is on. This is on page 7. Right there. I thought this was really interesting. LPs develop in Canada and Australia. And there's still, I don't know if there's an actual LP still in Australia. I know there's a strong libertarian. Excuse me, I drank my mimosa too fast. Pardon me, I'm not being a lady. I know there's a strong libertarian movement in Australia, but I don't know if there's still like an actual libertarian party. And look at that picture of Tony Nathan there. She was so pretty. And then who's the newswoman from Dallas? That's a pretty lady too. But anyway, it says, in the camera's focus, 1972, LP presidential candidate Tony Nathan. All right. LPs develop in Canada and Australia. Prompted by the remarkable success of the two-year-old Libertarian Party in the United States, similar parties are now functioning in Canada and Australia. The second convention of the Libertarian Party of Canada on May 24th through 26th in Ontario apparently laid the foundation to ensure that the LP will be an enduring force in Canadian politics for many years to come. I had the former leader of the LP of Canada as an interview on my show, maybe 7 months ago. Look up Tim Moen, M-O-E-N. He's fantastic. I love him. He's an anarchist. Who would have known there's like a whole bunch of Canadian anarchists, eh? There is, though. Okay, an inspiring speech by Phil Spicer of Ontario, combined with an inspiring financial contribution, encouraged the delegates to take the initiative in the battle with the state and not be discouraged by the seemingly large odds against a successful libertarian movement in Canada. By the end of the convention, the LP had a strong libertarian platform and no less than 24 candidates from 3 provinces running for federal office. While there was not enough time to allow the LP of Canada to achieve ballot status, the results from the July 8th elections allowed that they received more votes in the ridings. Ridings? That's a weird term. Is that like a Canada term? In which they fielded candidates, then the Marxists, that's good, the communists, okay, and the social creditists? What the actual F is a social creditist? Okay, I gotta look that up. Oh, there is an LP? Okay, I didn't think there was. Does the Wikipedia say it's defunct? Because I really thought there was not one presently in Australia. But I want to look up social creditist. That is something I've never heard of. So I'm asking Mr. Google right now. Social creditist. English definition and meaning. Let's see. Earliest use found in the Daily Telegraph. In the 60s, okay, but it doesn't say what it means. Oh, an advocate of social credit. Okay, well, no shit, but it doesn't say what social credit is. A member of a political party advocating social credit. But what is social credit? Oh my God. I just love these recursive definitions. Okay, let's look up social credit. The economic theory that consumer purchasing power should be increased either by subsidizing producers so that they can lower prices or by distributing the profits of industry to consumers. Also, okay, just socialism. All right, got it. I've just never heard of that. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Is that even a thing today? Like, can someone explain this? Where's my thing? Okay, hold on. I need to get up. I'm so bad at this. Where's my little cheat sheet? How come that didn't work? My make it make sense didn't work. Anyway, does that make sense to anyone else? Do not log in. I accidentally hit the wrong program. Okay, shut that. Shut that. Shut that.
Objection, speculative.
Exactly. I agree with you. It definitely is very speculative.
Unauthorized
It's recording. Not an unauthorized recording, Mr. Sarwark. Okay. And JJ says, a riding is the term for parliamentary district in some Canadian provinces. Well, I learned something new today. I'd never heard that before. Okay. Where was I at? The social creditors. Okay. We fully intend to become the major opposition to the statist conservative and liberal parties within 4 years, said newly elected party chairman Michael A. Blake. The other new officers are Chuck Lyle, party leader Sig Petty, deputy party leader Maria, I can't pronounce, vice chairwoman. What? Oh, she's the vice chairman. I was reading this wrong because I thought it said vice chairwoman Ken Freeman. I'm like, that doesn't sound, yeah, okay. But whatever. Ken Freeman's actually the treasurer. He wasn't the vice chairwoman. And Judith A. Herman, secretary. The recent election of the Labour Party government in Australia has prompted a group of Sydney businessmen to request that a few local libertarians make plans for establishing a Libertarian Party of Australia. Patricia Brooks and Bob Howard are spearheading the project and are using Libertarian Party USA literature. Howard expects that the new party can be running candidates in local elections by early next year. Libertarianism is even making an impact in Great Britain, where the respected journal of opinion, The Spectator, ran an article by Philip Van Elst entitled Libertarianism an Alternative. Says Vander Elst, freedom will not long survive in this country if the Tory party does not provide a libertarian alternative to the socialist state by failing to curb its own paternalistic and technocratic tendencies. A Libertarian Party of England? ? There is now a UK Libertarian Party. Okay. There's a whole funny story with the UK Libertarian Party. Let me put this back here. I don't know who is their chair and stuff now, but I became friendly with their leadership, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, because I was really ass mad. I don't know if it's still that way, but it probably is, but I found out the backstory behind it. If you go read their platform, if you're an anarchist, you're not allowed in their party. I mean, they explicitly said that back then. And I found out the backstory because they wrote me when I first, I think, was elected secretary. They wanted some help on something or other, and it wasn't like an official party thing. It was more personal, and I was kind of, a bit salty, and I'm like, why are you asking an anarchist for help? I wouldn't be even welcome in your party if I was in your country. And they're like, yeah, you would. I forgot who it was that said this to me. It's like, we kind of have to put that in there to cover our ass. There was this group of not libertarian anarchists that caused all kinds of problems or something. But I would hope they've dealt with it a different way now, rather than excluding a significant minority of the libertarian population. While we anarchists certainly are not the majority, we are far more than a significant minority. We would be more, well, I don't know if we would be a Roberts significant minority. I don't know if we'd be at least 1/3, but I think we're at least 1/4. But so yeah, they told me the whole story about where I don't know, I should try to find those messages. Because I think it was even an email conversation, so I should be able to find it. And they were like, no, you'd be totally welcome. We think you're awesome type thing. So anyway, because I was really ass mad about it. But if you deal with some people who are from that party, who don't know the backstory and stuff, they really will give you the stink eye. A lot of them are very hostile, Kyle Wagner style hostile to anarchists. Some of you are not getting that inside joke, but those of you who are going, oh my God, a Kyle Wagner reference. All right, everyone, that's all the LP news, meaning historical, that we're going to cover for tonight. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really wanted to cover. I always give it a few minutes to see if there's any more comments, any last minute super chats. Because I'm begging. I can chug my mimosa. And I will readily confess, I've been a little grouchy online because the sourpusses, man. It's if you are that angry over Reno, why don't you just go find something else to do for 2 years? But to just sit around and just every single bit of news that comes out, try to figure out how you can negatively spin it, or just sourpuss everything. It's there aren't enough lemons in the world to make me that. Oh, someone's going to screen cap that. I just don't get how someone could be such an Eeyore. It's like, JFC, people. Touch grass. Do something. Listen, I know what it's like to be very miserable. You don't like certain leaders. Oh, believe me. I wasn't even thinking of national. If I can get over it, you can get over it. But I was speaking not even of the people who attempted to throw me out. I was thinking more of Colorado, where there were a couple years here where I did not like the board. And you want to know what? I found something else to do. I didn't just haunt their social media and every little thing that come out down. You know, I just don't get that mindset. What miserable people. God. So it's made me a little crabby. And it doesn't make me crabby so much when they're going after LNC members because, again, we signed up for this. Though Todd Hagopian amazes me every day because they go after him so unfairly and he is so unflappable. Like, I'm beginning to think he might be a lizard. He might be a lizard person. It's not really me and Angela, it's Todd. Because that dude, nothing gets to him. He's just like, he is so unflappable. I admire that so much because I don't think flappable's a word, but I'm very flappable if it's a word. Just like with disgruntled, I don't know if gruntled's a word. I'm gruntled and flapped and flappable. I am very gruntled and very flappable. But anyway, I would find something else. Why am I turning bright red? I would find something else to do. And yes, Angela has been good. JJ, tomorrow we're going to talk about the Idaho resolution because we're doing the LNC update tomorrow. So yeah. But nobody today has commented on my running thing. My little buddy. I just love my little buddy. But I need to like put a .png background on it so it's not a white square. But I don't know how to do that with a GIF. And yes, it is GIF. It's not GIF, it's GIF. I'm taking a side. I don't know how to do that with a GIF. I'll figure it out. I don't know how many frames that is. But it shouldn't be too hard. Because that's from like circa... Crap. I'm trying to think of how long I've had that file. I've had that file since way before I moved to Colorado. Since about 2008. So that's a really old GIF. All right, well, I'm just going to chat till I finish my mimosa and then I'm going to head upstairs. But I do appreciate you guys spending this time with me. And tomorrow at 8 will be the LNC update. And again, we'll talk about the Idaho resolution. And there's really, the Idaho resolution is the big thing to talk about. There's not much more going on, really, which is good. But we have some budget numbers to talk about. We won't have membership yet. I'll come up with a bunch of stuff. But mostly Idaho and mostly... I drank that way too fast. And mostly membership. All right, I'm going to chug this last bit here. Do you guys remember that show a while ago where I said we had to take a shot of whiskey each time I said Bob Bar? But by the time I said it a bunch of times, it just became Babar. But yeah, I remember that. I got super hungover after that show. All right, hold on. I got to drink this. Oh, God, I love mimosas. All right, everyone. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have an awesome night. Bye-bye. Babar.
gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians, or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business.